Do you believe in terrifying and mysterious creatures lurking in the depths of the oceans? Have you ever heard of the Kraken, with its massive tentacles wrapping around ships and dragging them into the deep? And what about other sea monsters? What makes these creatures so frightening and fascinating? What truly lies in the unknown depths of the seas? Why have sailors been afraid of these monsters for centuries? Perhaps there's a grain of truth behind these horrifying tales. If you're ready, let's begin. The Kraken is one of the most terrifying and captivating figures in Scandinavian mythology and sailor stories. This colossal creature is often depicted as a giant octopus or squid and gained fame through the tales told by Scandinavian fishermen. The origins of the Kraken can be traced back to the writings of Ernulf Hreidarson, a Norwegian historian and clergyman from the 13th century. The size of the Kraken is incredibly immense. According to sailors' accounts, the Kraken is so large that when it surfaces, it can be mistaken for an island. Sailors describe how the Kraken wraps its massive tentacles around ships and drags them into the depths of the sea. The creature's power and ferocity are so great that sailors who see it usually have no chance to escape. In the 1830s, the German poet Alfred Tennyson further cemented the terrifying and mysterious nature of this creature in his poem, The Kraken. Tennyson portrayed the Kraken as a creature sleeping in the depths of the sea, destined to awaken one day and bring disaster to the world. The scientific truths behind the legend of the Kraken are also quite fascinating. Scientists believe that the creature inspiring the Kraken legend is most likely the giant squid, Architeuthis dux. Giant squids are colossal sea creatures living in the ocean's depths and rarely surfacing. These squids can reach lengths of 12 to 14 meters and present an impressive sight with their large tentacles. In the early 20th century, the existence of these giant squids was scientifically confirmed, revealing that the legend of the Kraken was based on a realistic foundation. The question of whether sea monsters, particularly creatures like the Kraken, are real or just myths, has been debated for centuries. The Kraken, which appears in Scandinavian mythology, has been recounted by sailors for hundreds of years. Sailors claimed that colossal creatures attacked their ships, dragged them into the water, and sometimes completely destroyed them. These stories were not limited to Scandinavian sailors. Similar sea monster tales emerged in various cultures around the world. Modern science has put forth various theories and research to understand whether sea monsters are real. Scientists have suggested that some large marine animals encountered by sailors could have inspired sea monster stories. Specifically, large squids and colossal octopuses could form the realistic foundations of the Kraken legend. Another possible explanation behind sea monster myths is geological and oceanographic events. Submarine volcanic eruptions, large underwater earthquakes, and massive waves are events perceived by sailors as unknown and dangerous. These natural occurrences might have sparked sailors' imaginations, turning into monster stories. For example, in 1492, during Christopher Columbus's crossing of the Atlantic Ocean, he reported seeing fireballs and mysterious lights, which were most likely the result of submarine volcanic eruptions. However, since the sailors of that time lacked the scientific knowledge to explain such phenomena, they attributed these events to supernatural and frightening creatures. The question of whether the Kraken and other sea monsters are real or mythical is complex from both historical and scientific perspectives. Sea monsters have fascinated, frightened, and intrigued sailors and land dwellers throughout history. In ancient Greek and Roman mythology, the seas were always depicted as being filled with dangers. These mythologies feature many sea monsters. For example, in Homer's epic Odyssey, Scylla and Charybdis are among the most well-known monsters encountered by Odysseus on his journey. Scylla, depicted as a sea monster with 6 heads, and 12 legs, would devour sailors by tearing their ships apart. In mythology, Odysseus and his crew lost 6 men while passing through the strait where Scylla lived. Charybdis, a monster located on the opposite shore of Scylla, created massive whirlpools by swallowing and spitting out the sea, posing a significant danger to ships. In the Middle Ages, sea monsters frequently appeared in sailors' travelogues. Particularly, Vikings and other Scandinavian sailors left many stories about colossal sea monsters and serpents. Leviathan, a massive sea monster in Jewish and Christian mythology, is often depicted as a serpent-like creature believed to dwell in the depths of the sea. This creature symbolizes God's power and the terrifying nature of the seas. Hafgufa, another enormous sea monster from Scandinavian mythology, is described as a giant whale or sea monster that appears like a large rock on the surface. Sailors told tales of disappearing into the mouth of this creature. Sea monsters also hold significant places in Eastern and Far Eastern mythologies. In Japanese mythology and Chinese stories, creatures with great powers living in the depths of the seas are recounted. Ryujin, known as the sea god in Japanese mythology and depicted as a dragon, is believed to control the seas. Ryujin is said to reside in a palace in the deep and have control over the seas. In Chinese mythology, Jiaolong, a dragon-like creature living in the depths of the seas, symbolizes great power and wisdom. These creatures represent the dangers and unknown nature of the seas. Sirene Croin, one of the most terrifying sea monsters in Irish mythology, is known for its colossal size and frightening appearance. According to legends, this creature is so large that it can even hunt giant whales. It is usually said to live in the depths of the seas and rarely surface. However, when it does, it is told to attack and sink large ships. Another feature of Sirene Croin is its ability to change shape. According to legends, this creature can disguise itself as smaller and harmless fish to deceive its prey. Once it gets close to its prey, it returns to its gigantic size and easily captures them. Even in modern times, stories of sea monsters have continued, particularly towards the end of the 19th century. With the increase in maritime navigation and exploration, reports and eyewitness accounts of sea monsters increased. In the 19th century, sailors told stories of attacks by gigantic sharks. One of these stories is about the mega shark, described as a giant shark much larger than regular sharks, even attacking whales. Sailors claimed these sharks were over 10 meters in length and powerful enough to damage ships. Modern science and discoveries have revealed the actual existence of giant squids. Giant squids, Architeuthis ducks, are colossal sea creatures living in the ocean's depths and rarely surfacing. The first live images of a giant squid were captured by Japanese researchers in 2004. In 2012, the first footage of a giant squid in its natural habitat was obtained. In the early 2000s, the creature known as ningen, reportedly seen by Japanese fishermen and researchers in the cold waters of Antarctica, is one of the fascinating examples of modern sea monster stories. Ningen is described as a massive sea creature with a white, human-like shape, sometimes said to be 20-30 meters long and with human-like arms and legs. Although the photos and videos are not very clear, there has been much speculation about the existence of this creature. Sea serpents are another significant component of sea monster legends. In the 19th century, many sailors reported encounters with gigantic snake-like creatures. These creatures are noted for their long and slender bodies and are believed to dwell in the depths of the seas. In 1848, while the HMS Daedalus was sailing in the South Atlantic, the crew reported seeing a massive sea creature. Captain Peter McCouey described the creature as being 18 meters long with a snake-like appearance. This sighting is one of the most famous and well-documented reports of sea monsters. In 1896, a colossal creature's carcass washed ashore at St. Augustine, Florida. The size and shape of the creature baffled scientists and the public alike. Initially thought to be a whale, further examination suggested that the carcass might belong to an unknown sea monster. This incident sparked numerous theories and debates about sea monsters. In 1857, the SS Brunswick reported an encounter with a gigantic sea serpent off the coast of South Africa. The crew described the creature as being 15 meters long and moving rapidly on the water's surface. The creature passed close to the ship, causing great fear among the crew. Recent scientific discoveries have revealed that many mysterious species are still waiting to be discovered in the depths of the oceans. Deep-sea research, in particular, has uncovered previously unknown gigantic sea creatures. These discoveries suggest that sea monster legends may have a realistic basis and that the oceans remain largely unexplored. So, where does this colossal creature reside? The places believed to be the habitat of the Kraken are generally the Scandinavian coasts, the North Atlantic Ocean, and the surrounding sea regions. Areas such as the Norwegian Sea, the waters off Greenland, the Faroe Islands, and Iceland are the most frequently mentioned locations in Kraken legends. Most Kraken legends take place along the Scandinavian coasts and the North Atlantic Ocean. Sailors from countries like Norway, Sweden, and Iceland believed that this massive creature particularly lived in these regions. One of the most frequently mentioned locations for the Kraken is the depths of the Norwegian Sea. This sea, located west of Norway and part of the North Atlantic Ocean, provides a suitable habitat for the Kraken's colossal size with its deep and dark waters. The open waters of Greenland also frequently appear in Kraken legends. This region is known for its cold and harsh sea conditions. Sailors traveling off Greenland have recounted encounters with large and dangerous creatures. The sea regions between the Faroe Islands and Iceland have also been considered as habitats for the Kraken. These areas are known for their deep sea trenches and strong currents. Fishermen have reported encountering large and dangerous creatures while fishing in these regions. It is thought that the Kraken lived here, especially in areas where fish schools were dense. The places where the Kraken lives are not limited to real sea regions. They have also been depicted in mythological and legendary locations. In Scandinavian mythology, this creature is described as living in the deepest and darkest parts of the seas. The legends tell of the Kraken hiding in the deep seas and rarely surfacing, posing a great threat when it does. Sea monsters, especially the Kraken, have been significant figures reflecting people's fear and admiration for the seas throughout history. These creatures symbolize the unknown and dangers lurking in the depths of the seas. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.